Hola, clase. Today's lesson is about the present progressive tense in Spanish. It's like am, is, or are plus ing in English. You need to use the verb estar and then the ing equivalent in Spanish, and we will get to that in just a minute. So to talk about what's happening right now at this very second, we use the present progressive tense. And the way we form it in Spanish, we use a conjugated form of the verb estar, which means to be, followed by a present participle. And a present participle is like the ing ending in English. So your first step that you have to do is choose the right form of estar that goes with your subject. And estar is an old verb. We know this one already. So we've got estoy for I am, estás, you are, está for anything singular is, estamos, we are, and están, they are. Once we figured out which form of estar that we need to use, now we need to form the present participle, or the ing equivalent in English. So this kind of has two steps to step two, so I call this one step 2A. So to form that present participle for regular AR verbs, we do like what we normally do when we do verb endings. We drop the AR and swap it out for the letters A, N, D, O. So here are some examples of AR verbs that have been changed into the present participle, or the ing equivalent. Ayudar, here you can see we've dropped the AR and changed it to ayudando, and that means helping. Same thing for the verb cocinar. We took off the AR, replaced it with ando to turn it into cooking. Cortar, drop the AR and add ando, makes it cutting. Lavar, take off the AR, replaced with ando, washing. And finally, limpiar, take off the AR, replace it with ando, and turn it into cleaning. Step 2A showed you how to turn AR verbs into the present participle. Now, step B is going to show you how to form present progressives for both ER and IR verbs. It's the same process. You drop either the ER or the IR off of your verb, and you swap it out for the letters I, E, N, D, O. So our first example is the ER verb hacer. When we drop the ER and swap it out for the letters IENDO, we change the verb's meaning into doing. The second example is the verb comer. Drop the ER, add IENDO, and that turns it into eating. Now we've got an IR verb, the verb vivir, which means to live. Take off the IR, switch it out for IENDO, and it means living. Finally, we've got escribir, another IR verb. Take off that IR, swap it out for IENDO, and then you'll have writing. Since we aren't conjugating stem-changing verbs, the boot verbs, we're changing them into a different part of speech, a participle. AR verbs and ER verbs that were boot verbs before do not do the E to IE or O to UE or U to UE in the present participle. So where empezar, this E would have switched over to IE. This one doesn't, because we're not adding o, as, amos, or on. We're adding a different part of speech, the ando, the thing that makes it ing. So since it's a different part of speech, we do something different. Same thing with jugar. AR verb, it originally was a U to UE. This would have changed. But when we turn it into the ing, no change. We have some other irregular forms too. Dormir. This O switches to U only, and then you take off the IR and do IENDO. So this is durmiendo, how it's pronounced. Dormir becomes durmiendo. Pedir, this one still does the E to I thing. It becomes pidiendo. And servir still does the E to I thing too. It's sirviendo. So it's just our E to I's that get to do the little stem change things. The last example, leer, does something especially strange. Instead of doing I-E-N-D-O, we change the I to Y between the two E's and make it leyendo, Y-E-N-D-O. Good way to remember leer is you read with your eye. See how you see the word I inside of there? So hopefully that'll help you remember not to switch that to an I, but change it to a Y instead. Now it's time to do some practice activities. There are two blanks there for a reason. Remember, the first blank is for your form of estar, estoy, estás, está, estamos, or están. And the second blank is for your verb, that is your ing equivalent. So, first blank, we should know this one, form of estar, that would go with Lola. Our verb to clean is limpiar. It's an AR verb. Take off the AR, put ando at the end. That'll get us with está limpiando. Yo, we've got an easy form of estar there. And we should all know the verb to drink, beber. So when we put it all together, we have estoy bebiendo. Don't forget it's I-E-N-D-O. Tres, usted la comida. Form of estar, since there's only one person there, we have to use the singular form. The verb to serve is servir. That one still does its E to I change. Notice that this is singular, guys. That's not ustedes, that's usted. So está, and then sirviendo. The next one, nosotros el cuarto. They're arranging the room, they're straightening it up. So we go with the yo form of estar. This verb for straightening up is arreglar. Nice and normal, just take off the AR and add ando. That gets us estamos arreglando. These next four questions are a little bit tricky. You have to read them very carefully. And we've got some spelling changes going on with some of them too. So we know the verb to read is leer. We know the form of estar that goes with to is estás. But with the verb leer, that was a special one. That's the one that had the I in it, E-Y-E. So leyendo is one you pretty much have to memorize, but it's easy to do because you have the English word I inside. Número 6, tu hermana la basura. So we want to say, who is taking out the trash? Is it you or your sister? The verb to take out is sacar. So it's está sacando. It's sacando because we take the AR off, replace it with ando, and it's just está because of hermana. That's the subject. So see the difference between the tu? There it is. You got to read very carefully. Same thing here. How many people is ustedes? Is it singular or plural? And we have to reflect that here in our form of estar. The verb to wash is lavar, nice and normal. So we just take off the AR and we do están lavando. Están is the one that goes with this ustedes. Then our very last one, nuestros padres. Got to figure out the subject on this one. Is this nosotros or something different? It's something different. This means our. So your subject is parents. So we have to make it match up with parents. The verb to cut is cortar. Nice and easy one. So it is están cortando. That's not nosotros, that's nuestros. Padres is our subject. So that's why it goes with están. Just four more to go. Número 9, the yo form of estar is pretty easy to figure out. The verb to order is pedir. That's an E to I verb. So that one actually does stay E to I. Estoy pidiendo. The rest of the boot verbs don't do that. The next one, mis amigos. Amigos is your subject. The verb to cook is cocinar. This one's pretty normal. Están cocinando. There's only one cat. And then we've got sleeping. Sleeping is irregular. That one is O to you only. Está durmiendo. Don't put an E there. It's just O to you when you're doing the participle part, the ando and yendo part. And then our very last one, since we got tú with an accent mark, we need to use the tú form of a star right here. Our verb to do is hacer. So this one's going to be estás haciendo.